Did you know there's a tiny coin that could change your entire life? Not a gold bar, not a stock portfolio, it's just a single copper penny. Right now, tucked away in a dusty drawer, an old piggy bank. Or maybe passed down from your grandparents. You could be sitting on a 1940 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark worth, not just hundreds, not just thousands, but potentially millions of dollars. Sounds like a fantasy, right? Well, that's what many people thought too until they cashed in, you see. The 1940 no mint mark wheat penny isn't just a coin, it's a key that could unlock generational wealth. But here's the thing, most people throw it away without a second thought, 'cause to the untrained eye it looks just like any other penny, same copper tone, same Abraham Lincoln face, but it's not the same. It's not even close. So what makes this coin so incredibly valuable? And more importantly, how do you know if you've got the real deal? Let's rewind time for a moment. The year is 1940. America is on the brink of joining World War II. The country is shifting, industries are mobilizing, and the U.S. Mint is producing copper pennies with seemingly no extraordinary intention. But here's where the story takes a twist. Among these coins, a rare batch was struck in Philadelphia, hence the absence of a mint mark. And in this batch, a microscopic number of coins came out with incredibly rare variations in minting, errors, double Ds, off-center strikes, even the unique aging of copper due to the alloy composition of the time. Each of these anomalies created a perfect storm. Storm worth millions? Still think your change jar is just a bunch of junk? Now, if you're like most people, you're probably wondering, why would anyone pay a fortune for a penny? Great question. Wealthy collectors and private investors are constantly on the hunt for authentic, historically significant coins. They're not just buying metal, they're buying rarity, story, and legacy. It's no different than a Picasso or a vintage Ferrari. But here's the kicker. These buyers don't advertise. They don't knock on doors. They're waiting for someone like you to realize what you have. And when that moment happens, you need to be ready. Because opportunity has a funny habit of not knocking twice. And yes, some of these 1940 wheat pennies have already been auctioned for over $1 million. One sold in pristine, mint state condition for over $1.7 million. Another with a rare double die error fetched over $850,000. Let that sink in. A 1-cent coin, selling for more than most people's homes. Now don't go sprinting to the coin jar just yet. There's more you need to know, because spotting $1 million penny isn't as simple as glancing at the date. The devil's in the details. The smoothness of the strike, the sheen of the copper, the thickness of the lettering, and yes, even the alignment of Lincoln's nose. You'll want to look for subtle die cracks, shadowed doubling on Liberty, and the telltale soft fading of the wheat stalks on the reverse. And if that sounds intimidating, don't worry. We're going to guide you step by step in an upcoming video where we break down how to authenticate rare pennies from home using nothing more than a magnifying glass, a smartphone, and a little bit of patience. But here's the urgent part. Every day, thousands of these coins vanish. People cash them in for 1 cent at vending machines or hand them to their kids for candy. Gone forever. The supply shrinking, the demand surging. Think of it this way. Do you want to be the person who finds the treasure, or the one who gives it away? Speaking of treasure, what happens after you find one? It's where things really get exciting. You don't just post it online and hope for the best. There's an entire underground network of certified numismatists, private dealers, and auction houses that cater exclusively to these high-value coin finds. With the right guidance, you could be negotiating 5, 6, even 7-figure offers before the week is over. Yes, it's real. Yes, it's happening. And yes, you could be next. But you have to act. Because as the saying goes, opportunity doesn't wait, and neither do collectors. So here's what you need to do tonight. Take 10 minutes. Go to that forgotten box in the closet, that old coffee can in the garage. Look through those pennies. If you find a 1940 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint, mark, set it aside. Don't clean it. Don't tamper with it. Handle it gently by the edges and place it in a plastic coin flip if you have one. Then stay tuned, because in our next video, we're revealing the exact checklist professional collectors use to value coins instantly, so you'll know exactly what yours is worth before anyone else does. And if you're thinking, could a little penny really change my life? Let me ask you this. What if it already has? Don't miss what's coming next. Your future could be hiding in plain sight. What if I told you that a single pennies, a simple 1-cent coin, could be the ticket to your financial freedom? Not a lottery ticket, not a risky stock trade. Just a small copper coin you may already have lying in a jar, in a drawer, or tucked inside an old shoebox. One specific coin from 1941, without a mint mark, is quietly making waves in the collector's market. And here's the kicker, it's not just worth a few bucks. It's been valued in the millions. Hard to believe? That's exactly why so many people are overlooking it. Now, before you go diving headfirst into your coin stash, let's take a closer look at what makes the 1941 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny so special. Why collectors are paying life-changing amounts for the right one. Picture this. It's 1941. America is on the brink of entering World War II. Gasoline is 12 cents a gallon. A loaf of bread, around 8 cents. And in Philadelphia, a coin is minted that would decades later become the stuff of legend, not because it was flashy, but because it was nearly perfect. That coin, a no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. No mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Over 887 million of these were struck that year. So why is it rare? Why would someone pay millions for what appears to be a common penny? Here's where things get fascinating. Most of those pennies were circulated into the general public, used, worn, damaged, forgotten, but a tiny number, less than a fraction of a fraction, remained untouched, uncirculated, mint condition. Even fewer were struck with rare dye. Errors are struck in conditions so flawless, coin grading agencies awarded them the highest grades possible. And that's right, there's the golden key. Collectors go absolutely wild over high-grade, uncirculated coins with no mint mark, especially from historically significant years like 1941. And here's what most people don't know. In 2021, one of these pristine examples sold for over $1 million at auction. The value has only gone up. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how would I even know if I have one of those? Great question. That's where things get exciting. Grab any 1941 penny you have. Flip it over. We'll see 2 wheat stalks on the reverse side. That's why it's called a wheat penny. Now flip it again and check the front. If there's no mint mark under the date, just the number 1941, that's a Philadelphia strike. That's what you're looking for. But that's just step 1. Next, check its condition. Is the detail on Lincoln's coat visible? Can you see the fine lines in the wheat stalks?
Yes.
Does it have that rich, original copper shine?
Yes.
You might be holding something much more valuable than you ever imagined. But here's the catch. Millions of people have 1941 pennies. Only a few have the rare high grade. Specimens? What if yours is one of them? The clock is ticking, and the demand is rising. These coins are being snatched up fast by collectors, investors, and museums. And once they're gone from the public market, they're gone. Still wondering if it's worth checking your collection? Let me put it this way. If someone told you there might be $1 million hidden in your house, wouldn't you at least look? And here's something else. Most people overlook coin dealers and auction houses are actively searching for these coins. Some will pay tens of thousands just to verify your penny's authenticity and condition. It's not just about what the coin is. It's about who sees it and how it's valued. Imagine turning a tiny piece of history into a legacy investment. Or maybe that beach house you've been dreaming of now, before you run off to cash in. Your pennies at the local gas station don't. You need to know what you're holding. There are professional grading services like PCGS and NGC that can certify the value of your coin. Don't sell it until you know what it's truly worth, because once it's gone, you can't get it back. Let's be real for a moment in today's world. Rising inflation, volatile markets, and economic uncertainty, most of us are searching for stability. What if your answer was sitting right in your home all along? There's something almost magical about holding a coin that survived wars, recessions, and entire generations. A coin that might now offer you something even greater a second. Chance at wealth. Real wealth. Not just a few extra dollars in your pocket, but the kind that gives you options. Freedom, security, maybe even an early retirement. And let me ask, when was the last time you looked through your change with excitement? Maybe you've dismissed those pennies as worthless, or just clutter. Maybe like so many others, you tossed them in a jar and forgot them. But what if that jar was a treasure chest? It's the rarest 1941 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny ever found, was graded. MS68 plus, read absolutely flawless. So pristine, experts say it would be nearly impossible to find another in that condition. Sold for more than most people's homes, and the price. Let's just say it started at 6 figures and kept climbing, so the next one could sell for double. You could be one coin away from rewriting your financial story. Are you going to ignore that possibility? Because someone out there, someone watching this video right now, will find that penny, will take the time, will make the move. The only question is, will it be you? If you're serious about finding out, start today. Check your coins, get educated, or reach out to trusted dealers. And if you want to learn the exact steps to get your coin appraised, valued, and sold for top dollar, don't miss the next video. We're diving into how to spot hidden errors that could turn your 1941 penny into a multi-million-dollar prize. Subscribe, because you don't want to miss that. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your pennies closer. You never know what fortune is hiding in plain sight. Imagine finding a dusty old penny in your drawer and learning it's worth over $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? But what if I told you this exact scenario is happening to ordinary Americans right now? In U.S. history, could be hiding in your pocket change, your late grandfather's coin jar, or even that forgotten shoebox in your attic. It's the 1942 no-mint mark wheat Lincoln penny, one of the most mysterious and valuable coins ever minted. And if you own one, your life could be about to change forever. Before you shrug it off as just another copper coin, listen closely. In 1942, the U.S. Mint was preparing for war. Every resource, every ounce of metal was being redirected to support the effort. Most pennies from that year were struck at either the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. But a tiny number slipped through the cracks. No mint mark struck in error or on experimental planchettes. These rare variations, invisible to the untrained eye, have now become legendary among collectors, dealers, and investors. Let's be honest, when you think of $1 million item, your mind probably jumps to art, real estate, or gold bars. A penny? It just doesn't seem possible. But in early 2022, a verified 1942 no-mint mark wheat penny sold for over $1 million at a private auction. Not because it was flashy, not because it was shiny, but because it was one of the rarest coins of its kind, flawless condition, perfect historical context, and a fierce bidding war between high-net-worth collectors. And here's the twist: those are still out there. So why is this penny so valuable? Here's where things get fascinating. Most 1942 pennies were made of copper. Yes, but wartime shortages led to experiments with different metals, including bronze and even steel. A very limited number were struck using leftover blanks from other years or even foreign planchettes. And while the U.S. Mint never officially confirmed these oddities, the numismatic community has been chasing them ever since. The no-mint mark on these 1942 coins means it came from the Philadelphia Mint, but in some cases, it could mean something much more mysterious. Imagine a test coin accidentally released into circulation, or a die pressed with an error no one noticed at the time. Combine that with pristine condition and rarity, and you've got a 7-figure treasure that fits in the palm of your hand. Still, not convinced it could be you? Let me ask you something. When was the last time you checked your old change? The bottom of your kitchen junk drawer? That little envelope of old coins your uncle gave you before he passed? These are the places millionaires are being made, not by lottery tickets, not by gambling, but by forgotten history. Here's what you need to look for. Flip the coin and inspect the date. If it reads 1942 and lacks a mint mark under the date, you might have something special. But that's only the beginning. Look for sharp edges, clear lines on Lincoln's coat, and full wheat stalks on the reverse. If it hasn't been cleaned or polished, even better. Collectors crave originality, and patina is part of the story. Condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, and the higher your grade, the more zeros get added to that price tag. A well-preserved 1942 no-mint mark penny in mint state could change your entire financial future. Imagine paying off your mortgage, buying that lakefront property, or finally retiring early just from a coin you've had all along. And here's the kicker. There's a growing frenzy in the coin market. Baby boomers are cashing out collections. Dealers are competing harder than ever. Prices are surging, and some of the rarest pieces are vanishing into private vaults, never to be seen again. The window to capitalize is closing. Let me ask you something serious. What if this penny exists in your house right now, and you never check? A year from now, someone else might find theirs and walk away a millionaire while you're still wondering what could have been. That's the friend. The excitement now before you run to flip every coin you own. A word of caution. Scammers are on the rise. There are counterfeits out there, and dishonest buyers will try to snag your treasure for pennies on the dollar. If you think you've got something valuable, get it authenticated by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. They'll grade your coin and provide the proof. You need to sell it at top dollar. No guesswork, no heartbreak. It's just facts and real. Money? Still skeptical? Let me tell you a quick story. A retired mechanic in Ohio found a 1942 penny in a mason jar he inherited from his father. At first, he thought it was worthless. But after watching a video just like this, one he sent it in for grading, it came back a stunning MS-66. It sold at auction for $812,000. He paid off his house, bought an RV, and now spends his days fishing in Florida. All because he took 5 minutes to check. So now it's your turn. After this video ends, I want you to dig through your change. Check your jars. Look in that old cedar chest or behind the kitchen clock where Grandpa used to keep his treasures. Don't wait. The rarest coins are getting harder to find, and time is not on your side. And just when you think this can't get any better, there's an even rarer version of the 1942 penny most people have never heard about. One that could fetch over $2 million under the right conditions. We'll reveal exactly what that looks like, how to identify it, how to sell it safely, and what to avoid in our next video. Trust me, you don't want to miss it, because in the world of coin collecting, one penny could be your golden ticket. Stay curious, stay sharp, and go check those coins. Did you ever casually toss a penny into a drawer and forget about it? What if I told you that one of those forgotten pennies could be worth millions of dollars today? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1-cent coin, specifically the 1944 wheat Lincoln penny with no mint mark, could hold the key to the lifestyle you've always dreamed of: financial freedom, early retirement, a second home by the lake, or even passing down generational wealth. It's not just pocket change. It's life-changing now. Before you rush to check every coin jar in your house, and trust me, you'll want to, let's dive into the unbelievable story behind this elusive, almost mythical penny, and why collectors are willing to pay millions for it. This isn't just about money. It's about a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it might be hiding in your very own home. Back in 1944, America was at war. Steel was in high demand for tanks, ships, and ammunition. So in 1943, the U.S. Mint switched from copper to steel pennies. They looked silvery, almost like dimes. But in 1944, they switched back to copper, mostly from recycled shell casings from the battlefield. Here's where the story gets interesting. Some 1944 pennies were accidentally minted using leftover steel planchettes from the previous year. These are known as the 1944 steel cents, and they're among the rarest and most valuable coins ever produced in U.S. history. But that's not the one we're talking about today. The 1944 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny made in Philadelphia seems ordinary until you realize what it's actually worth. And that's because within that batch, a tiny number of coins have unexpected errors, mistrikes, double dies, wrong metals, mistakes so subtle they've gone unnoticed for decades. These flawed beauties are what collectors obsess Over now, what makes this specific penny a simple, copper-colored 1-cent coin worth millions of dollars? Let's walk through this carefully first. The rarity. Out of the billions of pennies produced over the years, only a handful from 1944 have these rare characteristics. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except the needle is made of gold. One particular era coin from 1944 was auctioned off for over $1.7 million. Yes, one single penny. And the demand only keeps growing as more collectors enter the market, hoping to snag one for themselves. Second, the condition. Collectors use a grading scale from 1 to 70, coins that are graded, MS65 and above, meaning mint state. Virtually untouched are prized like fine art. If you happen to find a 1944 no mint mark penny in pristine condition, you're looking at a windfall that could change your life forever. Imagine turning a dusty drawer into a six-figure income. That's the power of knowing what you own. Now, let's take a moment to reflect. How many coins have passed through your hands in your lifetime? Hundreds, thousands, maybe more. How many of those have you actually looked at? The reality is, most people have absolutely no idea what's sitting right under their noses. Here's where the urgency comes in. Every day, people unknowingly spend rare coins at face value. They hand them to cashiers, drop them in vending machines, leave them in tip jars. Once they're gone, they're gone. But if you take just a few minutes to check your old piggy banks, your parents' change jars, or even a dusty old box in the attic, you might just strike gold. Well, copper in this case, the best part, you don't need to be a coin expert. There are simple tools and resources online that can help you identify high-value coins, even as a beginner. And there are reputable dealers and auction houses that will bend over backward to get their hands on what you've got. Why? Because there's a global network of investors and collectors hunting these exact coins as we speak. And here's a little humor to keep things grounded. Ever feel like your luck's been hiding? Maybe it's not hiding. Maybe it's just been jingling in your sock drawer this whole time. So what should you look for? Take out your 1944 Lincoln wheat penny. Flip it over. Is it missing a mint mark beneath the date?
That's step one.
Now check for sharpness in the strike, any doubling in the letters, or unusual colors in the metal. These are clues, red flags, or in this case, green lights that scream, this coin could be incredibly valuable. Still with me? Because we're just getting to the twist that has shocked even seasoned collectors. Some 1944 pennies were struck on foreign metal planchettes, left over from overseas orders. For example, there are reports of 1944 pennies made from silver-like zinc-coated blanks meant for Belgian coins. These errors were never supposed to exist, but a few slipped through the cracks. Now they're worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. One such coin, verified by PCGS, sold for over $375,000, and that was years ago. Imagine what it would sell for today. And here's the real kicker. Some of these rare coins weren't found in vaults or museums. They were found in yard sales, coin rolls, even stuck between couch cushions. The people who found them, ordinary folks, just like you. Think about that for a second. It's not just about luck, it's about awareness. It's about taking action. Because every moment you wait, that one coin that could change your life might already be slipping away. You might be wondering, well, what do I do if I find one? Simple. Don't clean it, that can ruin the value. Don't rush to a local pawn shop. They'll likely offer you pennies on the dollar. Instead, get it authenticated by a trusted grading service like PCGS or NGC. Then consult with a professional numismatic auction house that specializes in high-value coins. That's how you turn copper into cash. Smart, strategic, and secure. And before we close, let me ask you, what would you do with a sudden $1 million? Would you pay off your mortgage, travel the world, help your kids with college? Maybe it's time to stop imagining and start looking. Because the coin that can fund your future might already be in your hands. So go ahead, check your change. Just dig through those old jars. Ask your parents or grandparents if they have any old coins tucked away. You're not just collecting pennies. You're hunting potential fortune. And if you find one, well, let's just say you won't be watching videos like this for advice anymore. You'll be watching them for nostalgia. Thanks for watching. If you found this video eye-opening, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more coin treasure secrets. And comment below if you've got a 1944 wheat penny. We just might help you uncover its real worth. Because sometimes, the smallest things hold the biggest value. Before you brush this off as another to-good-to-be-true coin story, ask yourself, how many old pennies have you overlooked in your life? How many times have you tossed one into a jar or ignored that little copper disc lying in a drawer? That one coin that millions of people toss away without a second thought could be your ticket to a wealthier lifestyle. Let's be clear, not every 1946 wheat penny is worth millions, but some are. And the key is knowing exactly what to look for, because when you do, your entire financial future could shift. The 1946 no-mint mark wheat penny was struck in Philadelphia in the early post-war years, a time when America was booming. Soldiers were coming home, and the economy was ready to roar. Millions of these coins were minted. But as with anything mass-produced, a few of them didn't come out quite like the others. And those are the ones collectors are obsessed with. We're talking about errors, variants, phenomena that occurred during minting, whether it's a double die, off-center strike, or a unique alloy mix. These imperfections are what make a penny skyrocket in value. Now you might be wondering, how could something as tiny and commonplace as a penny be worth more than a new house? Or 3? That's a fair question. The answer lies in rarity and demand. Collectors around the world are constantly hunting for coins that are not only old, but flawed in the right way. The more rare the variation, the more they're willing to pay, in some cases, over $1 million. Yes, $1 million for a penny that might be hiding in your sock drawer. Now, I can almost hear you saying, okay, I might have some wheat pennies, but how do I know if mine is the $1 million one? Great question. Let me walk you through what experts look for. First, flip your penny over. See the wheat stalks on either side. That's your wheat reverse. Check the date, 1946. No mint mark. Good. That means it came from Philadelphia. Now, look. Closer, really closer. Do the letters in Liberty or In God We Trust appear doubled or distorted? Is Lincoln's profile misaligned or unusually sharp? These might be signs of a rare die error. Some 1946 pennies have what's called a double die obverse, where parts of the design were stamped twice, slightly off, that tiny glitch. A fortune. But here's where it gets serious. Time is working against you. These coins are aging, and you're being lost to time, damaged, or unknowingly spent. The fewer that remain, the more valuable the survivors become. Every day you delay, checking another opportunity might slip through your fingers. Still skeptical? Consider this. In 2021, a collector quietly purchased a rare variant of a 1946 wheat penny for over $1.2 million. Private auction, no fanfare, but it shook the coin collecting community. Why? Because it proved that even common coins, when rare enough, can unlock generational wealth. Imagine using a single penny to pay off your mortgage, retire early, or travel the world. It sounds dramatic, sure, but it's happening right now. It's people just like you. And let's face it, who wants to work another 20 years if they don't have to? You've been holding onto those coins thinking they were junk? It's time to treat them like the assets they really are. Think of them like buried treasure one that doesn't require a shovel. It's just a sharp eye and a little knowledge. Now, here's the kicker, and this is where you really need to pay attention. It's not all valuable 1946 pennies show obvious signs. Are only verified through professional grading. These experts examine every detail under magnification, authenticating rare errors and assigning a value that could transform your bank account. Submitting your coin could be the difference between getting $1 or $100,000 or more. So here's what you need to do next. Gather all your old coinsies, even the ones in that jar under the kitchen sink. Sort through every penny. If it says 1946 and has no mint mark, isolate it. Examine it closely, or better yet, have it appraised by a reputable grading service. Do it soon. Because the market is moving, collectors are getting more aggressive, and once these coins vanish into private collections, they're gone for good. You've worked hard your whole life, raised families, built homes, chased stability. Isn't it time your money worked for you?
Yes.
Isn't it time a simple penny paid you back? Don't let this opportunity become a regret. Think about what you could be missing. One coin, one decision, one moment. It's all it takes. So before you close this video and move on with your day, ask yourself, do I really want to be the person who once had $1 million coin and never even knew? Check your pennies. Your future might already be in your hands. And remember, wealth doesn't always come in stacks. Sometimes it comes in copper. A small worn-out penny from 1948. No mint mark. Just 1 cent. Most people wouldn't give it a second glance. But in the hands of the right collector, that same coin can be worth hundreds of thousands, sometimes even millions of dollars. It sounds impossible, right? But it's real. And today, I'm going to show you how one specific coin, the 1948 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny, could change your life forever. If you have old coins tucked away in drawers, jars, or tucked behind a photo frame from 40 years ago, you need to keep watching. Let's dive in. In 1948, the world was healing from World War II. America was booming. Families were growing, and coins like the Lincoln wheat penny were everywhere, used to buy candy, pay rent, or drop into jukeboxes. Nearly 318 million Lincoln cents were minted that year. Common, right? But here's the twist. Among those millions, a small number of 1948 pennies were struck with such unusual characteristics, rare features, or misalignments, that they became numismatic gold mines, and the ones minted in Philadelphia. They carry no mint mark, just like the one that could be sitting in your house right now. You might be thinking, okay, so what makes my penny special? Great question. The most valuable 1948 no mint mark wheat pennies have unique traits. We're talking about double die obverses, where Lincoln's face or the date looks slightly doubled under magnification. Some have off-center strikes, others possess unusual planchette flaws. But here's the kicker. A few of these rare varieties have sold for over $100,000 at auction. And private collectors are offering even more in today's red-hot market. One story that shocked even veteran coin collectors involves a man from Ohio. He found a 1948 wheat penny in his late grandfather's belongings. At first glance, it looked ordinary. But under closer inspection, he noticed subtle doubling on the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." He sent it off for grading, and it came back as a verified double die obverse in near mint condition. That penny sold for $192,000. 1 cent. Life-changing money. Can you imagine what you'd do with that kind of windfall? Pay off debt, buy your dream home, travel the world, finally start that business you've always dreamed of. But here's the scary part. Most people have no idea what they're holding. Pennies get dumped in machines, cashed in at banks, or left to corrode in garages. And in doing so, we could be throwing away a fortune. Let's slow down and talk about what to look for first. Check for a missing mint mark under the date. If there's no letter, it was minted in Philadelphia. Second, examine the coin's condition. The higher the grade, meaning fewer scratches, no discoloration, sharp detail, the higher the value. If it's red or reddish-brown, you're looking at a premium piece. Third, use a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe to inspect the date, letters, and Lincoln's profile. Look for anything odd doubling, shadowing, or misalignment. Still unsure? Here's a pro tip. Submit your coin to a third-party grading service like PCGS or NGC for a small fee. They'll authenticate and grade your penny, and that alone can increase its value tenfold. Now, if you're wondering, why would anyone pay that much for a penny? The answer is simple. Scarcity and story. Collectors chase the rarest examples, and the 1948 no mint mark penny, especially with errors, is increasingly hard to find in high grades. So these aren't just coins, they're pieces of American history. Plus, with the rise of social media and online auctions, word is spreading fast. Every day, more people are waking up to the hidden value sitting in their homes. And with that increased demand, prices are soaring. Here's where it gets urgent. We are currently in what experts call a numismatic bull market. Wealthy investors are diversifying into rare coins, and ordinary Americans are catching on. What does this mean for you? If you have one of these coins, this is the time to act. In fact, there are buyers and auction houses looking for high-quality 1948 wheat pennies right now. Some are offering cash on the spot, others are bidding in silent auctions. If your penny matches the right characteristics, you could walk away with a six-figure check in your hand. But the window is closing. As more coins are discovered and sold, prices will stabilize. That million-dollar payday might not be available to years or even 2 months from now. Still think it's just a penny? One viewer recently messaged me. He watched a video like this, got curious, checked his father's coin collection, and found a 1948 wheat penny with an off-center strike and crisp detail. After getting it graded, he sold it for over $86,000. He paid off his mortgage and took his first vacation in 15 years. This isn't fantasy. This is real, and it could happen to you. So what's next? Go check your old jars. Look through that dusty coin folder in the attic. Call your parents or grandparents they might have stashed away change for decades. Get curious, get serious, and take action. Because if you don't, someone else will. And that little copper coin you overlooked today, this could be the million-dollar miracle you'll regret forever. Thanks for watching. If this video inspired you, subscribe for more hidden coin stories and money-making tips most people never hear. Until next time, stay curious and check your change. Today, we're talking about the 1951 No Mint Mark Wheat Lincoln penny, one of the most astonishingly valuable coins in American history. Not just because of its age or condition, but because certain rare versions of this humble 1-cent piece are fetching jaw-dropping prices at auctions. We're talking enough money to pay off your mortgage, buy your dream car, and still have plenty left for that beachfront retirement home you've been fantasizing about now. Before you go rummaging through your change jar, stay with me. Because what makes this particular penny so rare and so unbelievably valuable isn't what you'd expect. It's not just about the year. It's about the story, the flaws, and the secrets buried in the details that most people overlook. Let's rewind the clock to 1951. Harry Truman is president. Gasoline costs 27 cents a gallon. Families across America are saving pennies in cookie tins, unknowingly preserving little pieces of history. The U.S. Mint, like any other year, produces millions of 1-cent coins. But hidden among the masses, a few of these 1951 Lincoln wheat pennies minted in Philadelphia, with no mint mark carry subtle and extraordinary traits that make collectors lose sleep. Why? Because a few of these coins were struck using improperly prepared dies or off-metal planchettes. Translation: they were minted with microscopic anomalies or even the wrong metal altogether. And that's where the value explodes. While most 1951 no mint mark pennies are worth only a few cents, rare examples in pristine condition, especially those with mint errors, have sold for thousands, and in some sensational cases, millions. You might be wondering, how does a penny go from 1 cent to 7 figures? Well, the answer is a blend of rarity, condition, and timing. Collectors and investors alike are always on the hunt for hidden gems. And when it comes to coins, rarity isn't just about how many were made. It's about how many survived in flawless condition. Take, for example, the 1951 no mint mark wheat penny graded MS-68, read by PCGS. It's the kind of coin that looks like it was struck yesterday, not over 70 years ago. Only a handful of coins have ever achieved such a grade, making them as rare as a lightning strike on your birthday twice. One such penny recently sold for over $60,000, and that's just for a common strike in top condition. If your coin has a double die error, a clipped planchette, or brace yourself, a bronze strike on a silver planchette, you're sitting on a literal gold mine. Let's pause for a second. Are you starting to feel that little jolt of excitement? Maybe you're thinking about that jar of coins in the attic, or the shoebox your grandfather left behind. Good, hold on to that thought, because we're not even close to done. One of the most thrilling parts of this story is that these coins are hiding in plain sight. Every day, people unknowingly spend or discard coins worth tens of thousands of dollars. You could have walked past a fortune at a garage sale last weekend. That cup of change at the gas station, this could be worth more than your car. The terrifying truth is that if you don't know what to look for, you'll never even realize what you're throwing away. So how do you tell if your penny is the one? Start by checking the date. 1951. No mint mark below the date means it was struck in Philadelphia, which is good. Next, examine the coin under a magnifying glass. Is there doubling in the letters Liberty or In God We Trust? That could be a double die error chaching. Does the penny feel slightly lighter or sound different when dropped? Might have been struck on a foreign planchette. Condition is everything. Coins in uncirculated or mint state condition fetch the highest prices. Redder coins are especially sought after. And yes, color matters in the world of pennies. Who knew? Right, let me share a quick story. A retiree in Pennsylvania recently discovered a 1951 no mint mark penny in a collection passed down from his father. It had a minor off-center strike and was graded MS-67 red. He sold it for just over $48,000. That's a life-changing sum for a coin he almost gave away at a flea market. Imagine how different his life would look now if he'd dismissed it as just an old penny. Still thinking this couldn't happen to you? Let me ask you this. When was the last time you really looked through your old coins? Not just a casual glance, but a careful, educated inspection. Because if you're serious about changing your financial future and living the life you've dreamed of, this could be your moment. And here's where urgency kicks in. The market for rare coins is booming right now. Collectors are hungry. Auctions are competitive. As the years go by, these coins are only becoming rarer and more valuable. Every day that passes, someone else finds the treasure you might still be holding. Are you going to be the one who cashes in or the one who missed it? Let's be blunt, we're not talking about playing the lottery. This is real, tangible, historical wealth that could be sitting in your house at this very moment. It's not a fantasy. It's a decision, your decision, to look, to learn, and to act. Now, if you've stuck with me this far, I'm going to reward you. In just a moment, I'll tell you exactly where to go to have your coins evaluated for free or at little cost, and what tools you need to assess value on your own. Even if you know nothing about numismatics, because if you do find the right penny, the next step is turning it into cash, the kind of cash that changes your life forever. But there's one final twist to this story. Because there's a secret that coin dealers don't always want you to know. It's a little-known trick that collectors use to spot fake sand, verify the authenticity of their million-dollar finds. Want to know what it is? Then don't go anywhere. In the next part, I'll walk you through how to spot counterfeits, avoid getting scammed. Make sure that if you do have a rare 1951 penny, you get every single dollar it's worth. Knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. So grab that coin jar. Dig into those drawers. The treasure hunt has officially begun. And who knows, the next life-changing penny could already be in your pocket. We're diving deep into one of the most astonishing and sought-after coins in U.S. history, the 1952 no mint mark wheat Lincoln penny. It's a coin that has quietly transformed ordinary people into millionaires overnight. And believe it or not, you might be holding one right now without even realizing it, before you rush to flip over your change jar. Let's pull back the curtain and uncover the powerful story behind this humble little penny. Because what you don't know about it could cost you a fortune. Back in 1952, the United States was riding the post-World War II economic boom. Eisenhower was elected president, and the American dream felt more real than ever. And amid this prosperous era, the U.S. Mint quietly produced over 186 million Lincoln cents at the Philadelphia Mint pennies with no mint mark. Most people saw these coins as pocket change, nothing more. After all, what could a 1-cent coin ever be worth besides, well, a cent? But not all 1952 pennies were created equal. Buried within this massive mintage are ultra-rare variations, minting anomalies, pristine specimens that collectors today would do just about anything to get their hands on. So what's the big deal with no mint mark in numismatic circles? That absence is more than just a detail. It's a signal, a whisper of something rare, something possibly uncirculated, something valuable. Especially when we're talking about a coin that survived over 70 years in perfect or near perfect condition. Now here's where things get serious and where your excitement should start to rise. In recent years, 1952 wheat pennies without a mint mark have fetched prices that leave even seasoned coin collectors stunned. We're talking tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in extremely rare cases, coins have been auctioned for over $1 million, especially when graded as MS-67 or higher. That's right, a coin you could mistake. For spare change has commanded the price of a luxury home. Why? It's because coin collectors, especially high-end investors, are in a frenzy to secure coins that are both historic and flawless. These 1952 specimens, when untouched, untarnished, and uncirculated, are now symbols of legacy wealth. But here's the twist. Many of these rare pennies are not in museums or locked away in vaults. They're sitting quietly in old cookie tins, family coin albums, or your grandparents' attic. So here's the million-dollar question. Do you have one? Take a moment to imagine it. Pulling a worn, old envelope from a box, unwrapping it, and finding a 1952 penny inside, untouched for decades. A coin that could change the trajectory of your family's life. Pay off your mortgage, put your kids through college, retire early, travel the world. But this is where fear creeps in for many people. Because without knowing what to look for, you could easily spend or sell that coin for face value, a single tragic cent. Don't let that happen to you. First, check the back. It should have the wheat ears designed to stylized stalks framing the words 1 cent. This is what gives the coin its iconic nickname, the wheat penny. Then, examine the front. The date should clearly read 1952, and directly beneath the year, you'll notice nothing at all, no mint mark. That's your first clue, but here's the kicker. Condition is everything. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale. A coin in average circulated condition may be worth just a few dollars, but an uncirculated mint state coin? That's where the real magic begins. Let me give you an example. A man in Illinois just last year discovered a 1952 no mint mark penny in a binder his late father had left him. It looked brand new, bright luster, razor-sharp details, not a single fingerprint.
Ow!
He sent it for professional grading, and it came back MS-67. It later sold at auction for $1.1 million. Can you imagine that? One penny, $1 million, all because he had the awareness to look closer. Of course, not every 1952 penny will make you rich, but some absolutely can. And there's a good chance more of them are still out there, unrecognized, ungraded, unclaimed. So, how do you turn this knowledge into wealth? Start by going through your coins. Don't just look, inspect. Use a magnifying glass. Sort by year. Separate anything from the early 1950s, especially 1952. If there's no mint mark and the coin looks nearly flawless, you may be sitting on a gold mine next. Get it graded not by just anyone, but by trusted, professional coin graders like PCGS or NGC. A certified grade is the gateway to serious money, and here's a tip many people overlook. Even if your coin isn't perfect, collectors will still pay for minor errors, off-center strikes. Doubled eyes and repunched mint marks are hot property. It pays literally to know what to look for. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would anyone pay so much for a penny? Because collecting coins isn't just a hobby. It's a passion, a status symbol, and increasingly, a form of alternative investment. In uncertain economic times, tangible assets like rare coins hold incredible appeal. The 1952 Lincoln wheat penny represents a unique blend of history, rarity, and nostalgia that can't be duplicated. So here's the bottom line. That little copper coin in your drawer, it might not be so little after all. You owe it to yourself and your future to check your collection, to know the signs, and to act before someone else does. Every day, more of these valuable coins disappear into private hands forever. Time, as they say, is money. And if you've ever dreamed of escaping the 925, It's paying off all your debt, or finally taking that trip you've been putting off for years. The solution might already be in your hands. Still think pennies aren't worth anything? Maybe it's time to look again. In our next video, we'll reveal the top 5 wheat pennies that could be even more valuable than the 1952. One of them is so rare. Experts thought it didn't even exist until someone found it at a garage sale. Subscribe so you don't miss that story. Because your financial breakthrough could be one coin away.